Hey sunshine, it's Cady from DarkSunlight. If you're new here, I make videos about bullet journaling, witchy things, and lifestyle in Montreal. If that's something you're into, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. If you want to see how any of these spreads look when they're all filled in, follow me over on Instagram at dark_sunlight. In this video, I'll be setting up my bullet journal for November. This first part might look a bit strange, but I promise I have a plan. I got some tiny notebooks in my Archer and Olive subscription box and decided to try using some of the Kraft paper from one. Since the long edge of the small notebook is a bit shorter than my bullet journal, and I didn't want to Frankenstein anything together, I decided to just color in the center to tie the edges in. The next thing I did was cut a few Dutch doors in the center of my pages, so that throughout the month I'll always have this warm Kraft paper border on the top and bottom of my spreads. I also used a punch to round the corners of the paper. The upside to this style of setup is that you can spend less time decorating as you have the top and bottom ever visible, but the downside is there's less room to work with and I can't add pages to the month if I need them, lest I go outside of my Kraft paper border. If you're a regular here, first of all, hello, I love you! Secondly, you'll probably notice some pretty big changes to my layouts this month. I normally have about 7 standard spreads to set up each month. A cover, a calendar, habit and mood tracker, a health tracker, a productivity tracker, a monthly favorites page, and my weeklies. But frankly, I needed a break from all that, and I was also just a bit bored of it. So instead, this month, I want to focus on 3 main spreads and consolidate some things. I'll be making a monthly dashboard, including my habit mood trackers, a health spread, and weeklies. This first page is still a pretty big calendar with decent room to write, but small enough to fit mostly onto one page. On the right-hand side, I'm making a super tiny mood tracker out of just a big pile of leaf doodles. I actually think this may end up being much more convenient to fill in throughout the month, seeing as everything's on one spread instead of flipping through many pages to fill out each day. I want to take just a second here to recognize my newest patrons, Jessica and Brianna. I'm so grateful for your support, and I hope you love the bonus content and printables. If you want to see your name in the credits of every video, come join the fam over on Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description below. I thought this next part was kind of fun. I've been more into reading lately as I was gifted some Audible credits for my birthday, thank you, so added this piece of Kraft paper to write down the books I've read throughout the month. Currently I'm enjoying Alice Isn't Dead by Joseph Fink, which is a rewrite of the podcast, and Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. To adhere the Kraft paper, I just used double-sided tape. The rest of this page will be filled with mini calendars to track a few habits throughout the month. As much as I do love tracking habits, sometimes it can get overwhelming to do so many. So without giving up entirely, I'm just cutting my usual 6 habits down to 4 for the month. These paint pens are the acrylograph pens from Archer and Olive. If you didn't already know, I am an affiliate with A&O, so if you wanted to support my channel as well as grab yourself a discount, feel free to use my code DarkSunlight10 for 10% off. Honestly, it really helps me out, and I truly love their bullet journals and pens and highly recommend them. I've been using them for years. The next spread is my health tracker, which I'm sure you'll think is pretty boring looking right now, but I promise it's just one of those spreads that looks way cooler at the end of the month when it's all filled in. To design this one, I decided to smush my normal health habits like steps, sleep schedule, and weight onto one chart. I also added in the moon phases throughout the month to see if that has an effect over time. I messed up the numbers because of the moon, but thankfully it's nothing some white gel pen can't fix. Oops, I almost forgot the T crossbar. Oof, so much better. See, this is where the color will come in as I fill it out. I can't believe we're at the last spread already. So possibly the biggest change happened with my weeklies. Not only am I setting up 2 weeks at once right at the beginning of the month, but I am also smushing them down into 1 page each. Normally I'd take a full spread for 1 week. I'm a bit concerned about the amount of space I'll have per day, but as long as I don't overschedule myself too many tasks, I think this might be a more efficient, proactive way to set up my spreads. At least I won't need to worry about setting them up for 2 weeks. Finally, I just had a few more little details to add, and the title. I added the title to the Kraft paper above the Dutch doors and the year on the facing page below the Dutch doors. The 2 blank pages at the front and back of this setup are also blank for now, so I can end up using them for doodles or quotes or even overflow if my new condensed spreads turn out to be a little too condensed. After all is said and done, here's my new super streamlined setup for November. I'm a bit nervous, but also excited to see how these new layouts work for me. I guess we'll see where I end up in my December setup. The digital printable of this setup, as well as themed phone and desktop wallpapers, are available for my lovely Patreon sunshines, and I've added a limited time listing to my Etsy store for those that only want to purchase the one setup. Both my Patreon and Etsy will be linked below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.